My husband ruined our marriage after he took a nap in his office the whole day after complaining about me not walking our dog, but I haven't gotten a break in the last 3 months because of our newborn baby, and he has all the time in the world. I, 28F, am married to my husband, 30M. I'll probably delete this in the morning, but I need to scream into the void. I've been married for under a year, but been with my husband for 6. We have a 3-month-old little girl who's fantastic. I'm a first-time mom who's a stay-at-home mom. My husband works from home. My husband's not dumb, just emotionally inept sometimes. I've had a lot of resentment building since I was pregnant. His mom tormented me through my pregnancy by talking about miscarriages, stillbirths, and saying dead baby to me every time my husband wasn't around. She denied, he sympathized with me, but nothing was truly ever done. Since I gave birth, my husband's just been clueless. When I was there recovering, he would go home and sleep and leave me all alone because the couch was uncomfortable. I had to call him 20 times to get him to wake up and come back to the hospital because I was lonely. Then, when we left, he was asking me to carry things to the car with him. The nurse had to tell him I shouldn't be carrying anything, I'd just given birth. When we got home, he complained about his lack of sleep. I was struggling learning how to nurse. He was my cheerleader through nursing, I have to give him credit there. As the first 2 months went by, I was consistently bawling about how sleep-deprived I was while he was getting 8 to 10 hours of uninterrupted sleep every night. It caused a lot of fights because I couldn't hear him tell me he was exhausted without having a meltdown. Then his mom would come over and they'd leave a huge mess for me to clean on more than one occasion. He complained about the basement being messy, so I helped him lift things and clean it up. It caused me to start bleeding heavily, and my doctor told me I shouldn't be lifting anything heavy. This is a point of contention because my husband continuously asked me to help him lift heavy things, and I couldn't, so he'd get annoyed. Then he'd complain about it all day. Now we're at month 3 and I think my marriage is over. We've been distant ever since baby arrived, and I haven't wanted to have intercourse or be affectionate. Husband has been asking if I'm all right a lot and I say I'm fine. I don't know what else to say. But I feel miserable and tense up every time he walks in the same room as me. Today he was on my case about walking our dog. I'm so exhausted from exclusively breastfeeding and I don't have the energy to walk her. I had been up since 2:30 a.m. with my baby and just couldn't handle anything else on my plate. So he whined and moaned about doing it but promised me I could nap. I snapped and reminded him that I haven't slept a full 8 hours in months. He got pissy and stormed off. He avoided me the entire day and locked himself in his office. I spent the rest of the day randomly breaking down in full-blown sobs because I was so tired. 11 p.m. hits and he hasn't come out of his office, so I finally break and go get him. He gives me the cold shoulder and I just break down. All the lack of support just broke me. I told him I hated him, I wish I could go home, and I even mentioned divorce. He calmed me down and apologized for being selfish. When I asked what he did all day, he said he napped. He napped the whole day. While I was struggling to keep myself standing, he was napping. I broke down. I cried and cried. He was apologetic and showering me in sorries and I love yous. For the first time ever I couldn't tell him I loved him too. Now it's 2 a.m. and I can't sleep because I'm so distraught. He's snoring next to me and I just hate him right now. I want to take my baby and run away. I don't want to live here anymore. Being a single mom seems easier than dealing with all this emotional stress and neglect. What am I supposed to do? I just can't believe I'm ready to leave him all because he took a nap. Commenter 1. You're leaving him because he's a bad father and an even worse husband, not because he took a nap. Commenter 2. Oh man. This is classic. When you finally divorce him, he will be shocked, and you will be relieved. Men like this are emotionally stunted and can't empathize properly until you're literally breaking down and forcing them to care. Then you get apologies, but there won't be change. Talk about exhausting and unsustainable. Personally, I would run. Maybe leaving, even if it's for a break, could be a wake-up call, though I doubt sustained change. Commenter 3. Funny how all he can manage are fake apologies, and I love yous with zero actual help. He's a piece of garbage. Go back to your family if you can. Update 1. So we talked. Well, I talked, he listened. I told him I couldn't do this anymore and something needed to change immediately or I was going to go back home and take my baby with me. He stared at me confused, but then he realized I had 2 bags packed by my dresser and ready to leave. I finally was able to articulate all the resentment that had been building. His mom's cruel and careless behavior, feeling abandoned at the hospital and now at home, how it feels like everything falls onto me so he can bring a paycheck home. I realized after saying all this I hadn't really told him how I was feeling but just continued to bottle it up. He was defensive at first and I gave him one warning that if this conversation was filled with excuses, I'm walking out. So he stopped and truly listened. He was genuinely remorseful. He only said sorry once at the end, and he meant it. Then he started asking me what I needed him to do. We made a plan and I finally feel like I can breathe a little easier. He has dog walks handled indefinitely. Mill is banned from the house and is to have no contact with me or my baby. Once husband's off work, I'm off duty for the day. I'll still breastfeed because I want to do that. I get a lot of fulfillment out of it, and if you saw the way my baby pats my melons when she nurses, you would too. Her big hazel eyes are like a drug. I'm typing this while soaking in a warm bath. I've been promised the weekend to decompress and sleep until my heart's content. I'll pump instead of nurse this weekend, and we have a stash of frozen milk he is planning on using. He knows what needs to be done, her routine, how much to feed her, so I know he's capable. I can actually hear him unloading the dishwasher right now. We are planning on doing something as a couple one day out of each weekend so I don't feel like just a mom. I can be a person too. We are going to go to couples counseling and I'm going to start individual therapy. He's already in therapy. He didn't have a dad who showed him what love looked like. He had an adult toddler as a father who threw tantrums and verbally abused him and his mother. My husband often comments on how my dad drops everything in a nanosecond for me and how he wants to be like that. But he's not. He's failing me and his daughter. That was really tough for him to hear. So, now we take it day by day. If he's actually capable of change, I'll have to wait and see. My bags are still packed and by the door. I guess I have them there as a reminder to myself that leaving is an option at any moment I please. That makes me feel a little better. I'm hopeful but not delusional. I know we might not be able to come back from this, and that's okay. I have to take care of myself so my little girl has a mama who smiles at things besides her. I have an appointment scheduled for a PPD screening and my mom's planning on visiting the start of next month. My family is ready with their door wide open when I choose to come home. Made me cry to hear my dad tell me he'll be on the first flight when I'm ready so I don't have to fly home alone. Thank you all for letting me spill my guts. Update 2 months later. I have been wanting to update but have been scared. I felt so overwhelmed and haven't been sure what to write. That post I wrote was me at my lowest. I wish I could take the version of me in time and just hug her. I was broken down and I needed anyone to be real with me. Those comments felt like a slap in the face and way too much to handle all at once. So I needed time to read through and digest it all. Thank you everyone. I was diagnosed with postpartum depression and anxiety shortly after I made my post. To the people who pushed me to talk to my doctor, thank you. My life has improved tenfold after getting proper treatment. I feel like in normal updates people dive into their lives and the details of what's happened. I don't want to do that. I want to say something that's more important than me in my life. To the new moms and their loved ones. If you or anyone you know has just had a baby, check in on them. If you've just had a baby, make sure you have someone who's tuned into you. Although you have brought new life into the world and it should be joyous, you are allowed to feel whatever you feel. Please, even if you feel fine, prioritize your mental health and well-being, because your baby depends on you to be healthy so they can be healthy. What you are going through is valid and important, and you need someone to look out for you. While you look out for baby, someone needs to look out for you with the same love and care. As for me, my life has turned around. Taking care of myself was what I needed. I know people told me to leave my husband and how horrible he is. And like every other excuse post, you don't understand because you're not living it. I'm happy, safe, and healthy, but most importantly my daughter is thriving. It took a lot of work and it will continue to take a lot more. I love my husband and he has shown through time that he can be reliable and hasn't faltered. I really thought he would fail and was expecting it most days. But he hasn't, he actually turned it around and that feels better than winning the lottery. I guess people can change when they really want to. Can't they? I could go on and on but things are better. My daughter's happy and healthy. She's feisty like me and nothing's gonna stop her. She loves her daddy as much as I do, sometimes more, and now with a clear head I can see that things are okay because we have, and continue to learn how to communicate with one another. If I could pass anything on, check on your loved ones. Sometimes they don't even know how hard they're struggling until you pull the wool from over their eyes. Thank you to everyone. Posting was the push I needed to get help. Commenter. I live to judge, obviously, but I find it strange that Redditors never seem to believe that people can do things, learn they were wrong, feel very badly, and never do them again. I have done many things I feel terrible about, then I learned, made amends, and try to do better. Op seemed very clear and ready to leave if her husband didn't fully turn it all around. I don't understand how everyone is so sure he's going to screw it up again.